Serious about business.
Serious about business.
It's the last PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018, and Business Access TV, as usual, is here to bring you the highlights. I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned. Mr. Mitchell, so tell us about the theme for this morning's breakfast.
The theme for this morning's session is citizen security as a tool for effective crime management. It is intended to raise the awareness of what citizen security is, and shortly, citizen security is the level of confidence that the average citizen feels in his community, and how he feels about his ability to move around in his environment, and what structures the government, the state can place around the community to increase that level of confidence. How the police force and the security forces behave is critical to citizen security. So we're trying to raise the awareness of the population on citizen security and to make people realize that hard policing alone is not enough, that you have to raise the confidence of the citizens in what you are doing.
So how important is it for businesses generally to be concerned about citizen security?
Well, I think it's very important that the level of investor confidence and the level of the business community's confidence is raised, in that their stakeholders can come to work, their employees can come to work, that they can move freely around in the community, and that they will have certainty of operations generally in the society at large.
And for businesses out there considering being a part of the PSOJ, what are the benefits?
I think the benefits of the PSOJ are, among other things, that you get a platform to express your concerns, to express your interests. You get information. We have a monthly economic bulletin. You get President's Fora like this. And you also get to find out what's going on in the society that you operate in. Then we have networking. We have mingles on a quarterly basis, so you do have networking with other members and with important influencers in the society.
So firstly, tell us a bit about what First Rock Capital does.
It's really a real estate investment holding company which has as its core focus real estate investments and private equity.
So how important is a company like that now in this day and age?
Well, truthfully, real estate represents the most finite investment asset, and what it offers is above average returns and stability with respect to capital.
So this morning you're going to be inducted in the PSOJ. How does that feel?
Excellent. You know, the PSOJ's mandate is a very solid one, and the PSOJ has been doing a lot of work with respect to championing and being an advocate for businesses and just the private sector in general. And what better way to express our support than to be a member?
So we're zoning in a little bit on the discussion this morning. It's about citizen security. How does your company play a role in that, or does that affect your company any at all, do you think?
I mean, security continues to be a main issue and at the forefront as well of all major businesses and individuals as well. So anything that we can do to enforce or reinforce the importance of it, then it has our support.
Citizen security, in every sense, has become a vital part of effective crime management. And as we all know, the crime that currently pervades Jamaica negatively impacts human development, it affects our economic development, it touches our social and cultural rights at the local, regional, and international levels. We know this, that when a country fails to protect its people from crime and violence, it leads to a breakdown in the relationship between those in power and those who are being governed. Therefore, we have to ensure that the correct checks and balances are made to foster that relationship by creating the required community action plans, better citizen police arrangements, and having an overall coordinated system of crime control and crime prevention. We've seen the implementation of the states of emergency. We've also seen a number of zones of special operations being declared across several communities in the country in a bid to really put a cap on the criminal acts taking place in those areas. We've seen some positive results, certainly when it concerns St. James and the murder figures trending positively downwards. And we've also seen where acts of violence in general has trended down in these areas. What more can we do? We will explore all of that this morning. But we'll also talk about whether these approaches are indeed effective and how much more can be done in this area. Moving right into the rest of the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Howard Mitchell, President of the PSOJ, to deliver opening remarks.
The subject that we are going to discuss this morning is a critical but not a well understood one, I think, in this society. I think that it is fitting for the PSOJ to end the year with the same topic that we started the year with, which is the issue of crime. The issue that has plagued us every year for more than the last 30-odd years, that has become endemic, that has been written into the fabric of our culture, that children have grown up with, that women have had to learn to live with, that businesses have had to write in permanently into their balance sheet protective devices for their stakeholders. I think it is so important that we remove the callous protective indifference that we have developed towards crime and face it in its stark terms and understand its motivation, its structures, and how to minimize it. You will never rid a society completely of crime, but you can reduce its impact and the terrible consequences on your people. So that I think we want to raise the level of awareness of citizen security in Jamaica, because if we are going to move from growth to development, then we need to understand that our human resources, our citizens, the people of our nation, are the most critical component of that development. And you can have growth. You can, in fact, have growth that mitigates against development by increasing marginalization of a society and sowing the seeds for its eventual destruction. So we need to be mindful, and we need to start planning for that.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have more from the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018 after this break.
Dodgen Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodgen Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodgen Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodgen Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
It's the only show that traces the steps of professionals.
From first and second form, I was involved in some club, some activity.
Then gives information on exactly how to get into that same career.
You do need a good grasp of English.
And now you can branch out into whatever area you want to.
Tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Career Moves and catch up on all our episodes at BATVJA.com.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're tuned into BATV's coverage of the final President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. Let's head to the stage.
I now invite our President, Mr. Howard Mitchell, to make his way to the podium to present the certificates to our new members. So, our first inductee today has joined us as an individual member. Please join me in welcoming Nadine Burrows-Siaga. Nadine has managed Island Broadcasting Services Limited, better known as KLAS-FM. She has also worked with National Supply Company Limited, Stewart's Auto, Silver Star Motors, T-Tech Limited, and Prime Sports. 876 on the go. One of our new corporate members to allow commuters to book cabs and make payments online, making transportation more secure for passengers and also for drivers. Bumblebee Digital Agency, specializing in targeted Wi-Fi advertising, digital marketing, social media management, and integrated marketing campaigns. The company has been reinventing how regional partners connect with their audience through its team of professionals and innovative concepts. First Rock Capital Holdings, an easily understood business model. By owning and managing properties that generate income, developing these properties and selling them for financial gain. Green Solutions International is a regional company created to advance energy and environmental sustainability throughout the Caribbean, with the goal of enabling energy-sufficient communities. Green Solutions International, welcome to the PSOJ. Micro University College. Joining us as a corporate member, Micro University College is the oldest teaching institution in the Western Hemisphere and continues to produce graduates who are critical thinkers and prepared to make an impact locally, regionally, and internationally. The Regis franchise is another corporate member being inducted this morning. Consistently providing client solutions, they deliver 100% managed and maintained workspaces as they continue to build their global footprint. Trend Media. They've successfully transitioned from being an online content provider to a full-service digital media house. One of its flagship e-publications, Loop News, is now identified as a credible local news provider. Let me once again congratulate all our inductees collectively.
To our panelists, thank you so much for joining us on a very important topic, one that certainly has dominated the news cycle and the national conversation where it concerns this issue of crime, but more so, citizen security. I want to thank you and we look forward to your inputs this morning. I want to start off with you, Mark Shields. What does it really take to deliver citizen security?
Citizen security, as far as I'm concerned, starts with some very basics that are important to all of us that live, work, come to Jamaica as visitors. I delivered a speech a month ago at the CIN lecture in New York, and I started the point by saying two things. One is, I've been in Jamaica for 15 years, and in 15 years, 20,000 people have been murdered, which seems an awful lot of people to me, and that's 20,000 people murdered, plus thousands and thousands of families, the victims, the untold victims of people who have lost their husbands, wives, sons, daughters, cousins, aunties. So there's all of that group there, 20,000 people murdered. That's a stark statistic. And then we get back to living in Jamaica as it is today. And I have real concerns that before we get on to the technical side of community intervention and real building communities, that we're not doing the basics. It seems acceptable that traders in downtown Kingston can just take over the pedestrian footway. They can hang their garments in front of other shops. It's at a situation where many people who would like to go downtown dare not go downtown because they're in fear. It is also that when I drive to Montego Bay, and as a friend of mine just wrote to me yesterday, he said he is more fearful of driving to Montego Bay than years of gunmen in Denham Town and elsewhere. Because as you know, because you guys do it as well, every time you drive to Montego Bay, you take your life in your hands because you see the bad standard of driving. And that is a real threat, and life should not be like that.
Yeah.
The third point I make is something that I've been, let's say, tweeting about over the past couple of months, and it perhaps became even more ironic last week into this week, that, again, the basics. If you look at the so-called licensed taxis in this country, where there are very clear rules and regulations that say that the windows must not be tinted, that there shouldn't be any markings on those taxis, that they should abide by the law like the rest of us, obeying red lights, not cutting up on the outside, all of that stuff that you guys live with every single day of your lives and causes you all stress. And I believe that we have to start by dealing with that. Now, people say, well, how do you do it? I'll take the last one first. There should be a war on licensed taxi drivers and unlicensed taxi drivers. It should be not just the police responsibility, because we always take that short-sighted view, well, the police aren't doing their job properly, but there's a transport authority, there appears to be a very vocal representatives for taxi drivers who came out last week because they were upset about the amended Road Traffic Act, which of course is a good thing, and is designed to actually bring us into line. So I feel that we can do a lot. We should be able to live in a normal society, and that means, before we get to anything technical, we need to get those basics right. Not rely just on the police, but just take taxis as an example. There is no reason at all why the Transport Authority, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the local authorities, those who represent the taxi drivers cannot get together and clear it up overnight, make it safe for us. We're lucky, most of the people in this room, I bet, drive their own cars to and from work. We don't have to put up with some of the terrible situations that other people crammed into taxis and buses have to. So I think we also have a duty to them to try to improve things.
We are up on another break, but please stay with us. We'll be right back.
My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry.
The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Thanks for staying with us. Here are more highlights.
From where you sit, Mark Shields speaks much towards institutional strengthening. But I want to put to you the citizen having a responsibility as well, and how the citizen carries out that duty within the democracy. Do you see Jamaicans stepping up to call for the kind of order that Mark Shields is advocating for, or are we merely bystanders?
Let me say, if I use the PSOJ and its president as an example, we would say that we're not standing up. In February of this year, the president called rightly for an oversight committee to deal with crime and violence. Now it is November and we have not seen it. How many citizens, how many civil groups have supported that call is really inadequate.
We heard an announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday in New York saying that he's going to be setting up a commission on crime early in 2019.
Yeah, I heard it before that it was going to set up a summit.
Yes, we heard about the summit too.
Yeah,
right.
so it's not new. What I said on Sunday at a congregation in St. Thomas, and Mark Shields was mentioning 20,000 killed since he has been here. And I've been here a little longer than him. I said that if any year 500 persons were killed who are the brightest and best, influential leaders, we would find the resources and the time to make significant changes. In other words, because it's not affecting us so much, I live in a gated community. Some people have protective services, but anytime it starts to affect us greatly, we will do more.
This is where I'd love to bring you in, Richard Divins, because the question is, how much of a rights-based approach do we take in dealing with citizen security?
Well, this is something that the government has been starting doing in the last years, at least for a program that we have been supporting, which is the poverty reduction program. And in a certain way, the fact that we are supporting the social inclusion of areas of here in Kingston and other areas in Jamaica, the fact that we are trying to promote a better economy in those areas, we are trying to promote the safety, the social cohesion. This is something which is very much related in improving the security in those areas. And in this respect, it is very important. It's very important when the government, or together with international donors, we are supporting the design of a citizen security program in the social aspect of the citizen security, the participation of the communities in the decision-making of the activities, of the project, of the initiatives is crucial. Without the participation of the civil society, without the participation of the communities, it's impossible to take ownership. We need the commitment of the people.
The question is, what are they committing to? Especially when they already think that it's a sort of a one-man against the world situation. The rest of the society is against them. They are there ensconced in their own, enclaves, so to speak, thinking that they abide and apply their own rules. Here comes now social intervention, trying to change all of that. But how much will social intervention be influential to the process? What else is needed?
Social intervention will contribute a great deal. It has been contributing and it will continue to contribute. But by itself, of course, social intervention will not do everything. You speak of citizen security as effective crime management. Citizen Security and Justice Program is out of the Ministry of National Security, but it has a component that deals with the Ministry of Justice. When we look at social development, we have to speak of citizen security, yes, but we have to speak of justice. We have to speak of rights. As you know, Peter Tosh had said, he wants equal rights and justice. Don't give me no peace, I want equal rights and justice. And unless citizens see themselves as owning or owning a process of development, of inclusion, they will not feel as if, yes, it is for their benefit. Our experience has shown, and I'm sure JCIF and other agencies have shown, that residents of vulnerable communities wholeheartedly support and embrace social interventions when they are a part of the process. We deal with crime prevention. As you know, crime and violence is multifaceted. It has many different actors, many different players, many different sectors. We do not treat with crime control, or crime suppression, which we see as the work of the security forces. We think that crime prevention is critical to the development of Jamaica, to treating with crime and violence. And crime prevention starts before a child is born.
Yes.
And it goes way on into adulthood. We have not yet, and the chairman spoke about it, recognized fully the importance or the knowledge. We do not know how important crime prevention is, in that we have to treat with it in a sustained, multifaceted manner. In a nutshell, no ministry should get a budget passed
each fiscal year without showing the country where in that budget is the allocation for activities to treat with crime prevention. Because it is so multifaceted, it touches on every sector. Every sector has a role to play. And let me repeat, no budget should be approved unless we can see where that sector, what that sector is doing. We welcome the idea of an oversight or a commission, because what we have observed is that the lack of collaboration among the sectors is one of the handicaps. It is something which causes waste, inefficiency, lack of adequate outcomes. And until the government can have a robust, very robust mechanism, institutional arrangement to ensure that there's collaboration between education, health, national security, all of these sectors working in their own way, but at the same time, designing together, implementing together, evaluating together. Until we get that, we will be groping in the dark to a large extent.
And that's it for coverage of the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Have grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I would get a vehicle.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
According to Booker T. Washington, success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. You have so much more to achieve. Don't limit yourself to your current situation. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. We have an interesting show lined up just for you as we tackle matters relating to the plastic ban and apiculture. You don't want to miss a minute, so stay tuned. Reggae Month 2020 is here and a host of activities are in store across the island. Echoes of sound systems, Reggae Wednesdays, Reggae Gospel Concert, Bob Marley's 75th birthday celebrations, Doria Honours Award, Reggae Film in the Park, Children of the Icon Store concert and more. Keep up to date on all the activities. Download the new Reggae Month mobile app. Simply search the words Reggae Month Jamaica in the Google Play or App Store. The app will also allow you to add and promote your own Reggae Month activity. So what are you waiting for? Download away and make use of this innovative technology today. Reggae Month 2020. Come catch the rhythm. Government has embarked on the second phase of the plastic ban, barring the local manufacture, distribution, and use of expanded polystyrene foam products used in the food and beverage industry. Get the Facts is next with more information as we adjust to the changes.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. The government has embarked on the second phase of the plastic ban, prohibiting manufacture, distribution, and use of expanding polystyrene foam products. In this edition of Get the Facts, we are joined by Olivia Anderson, Manager, Public Education and Corporate Communication at the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA. She will be answering your questions on this initiative. Ms. Anderson, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you on set. Now, so the ban is now in its second phase, yes? Tell us about the first phase. How did that go?
Well, on September 17th, 2018, the minister made an announcement to implement a ban on 3 items: single-use plastic bags, plastic drinking straws, and the importation of expanded polystyrene foam. So that was phase 1. In terms of phase 1, the response has been good so far. Even walking the streets, we see more people with their tote bags, persons walking out of the supermarket with their items in their hand if they forgot. Initially, we as Jamaicans, there was some trepidation, but I can see that we have gotten more used to this new plastic-free Jamaica.
Right. Have you noticed any impact? I know it's early days yet, but the impact on the environment?
Well, recently, the Jamaica Environment Trust-led International Coastal Cleanup Day, the results were released roughly a week or so ago. And one of the things that we noticed is that there was some reduction in terms of some of the items that was banned. So we're seeing incremental impact, but we're not seeing the big shift. And we believe that this will take a lot more time.
Yes. So what's the next step?
In terms of the next step, we're currently in phase 2, where we're phasing out expanded polystyrene foam, which some people commonly call styrofoam.
Okay.
So in terms of where that is concerned, we want persons to make the transition to reusable, to even bring in their own containers and to find recyclable alternatives. So that is where we are.
So what kind of help are you giving to persons who will need alternative products?
Well, one of the things that the government has done in their research, they have gone out to the market to see, where the alternatives are across the island. And that is one of the reasons why we're proceeding with phase 2. So we're so confident that the industry has reacted sufficiently well. And Stavlamar to St. Thomas, we know that there are alternatives available.
Okay, so is there any help?
One of the things that was extended for businesses when the ban was announced in 2018 was a facility with the DBJ, the Development Bank of Jamaica, and that is available to businesses who are retooling. So that is in terms of the help so far.
Right. Do you have anything else in place that is to assist with the whole cleaning up of the country?
All right, so we rely heavily on the NSWMA, and there's also a project that we're working on called the Plastic Waste Minimization Project. And 2 key parameters of that project, we're doing a pilot project in Raytown that is on your way to the airport side. So in Raytown, we're looking to get the behavior change. And once we pilot that project, we want to get more Jamaicans on board. And even at NEPA, we have a Green Business Initiative program where we're helping businesses to green their operations from in terms of energy savings where plastic consumption is concerned. So those are some of the initiatives. And under the plastic waste minimization project, we're doing a regulatory impact assessment to basically track how the ban has been going to date.
Right. Talk to us about that project to get behavior change. Who you're targeting Raytown first, you're saying?
Right, that's
Yes.
under the plastic waste minimization
Right.
project. But largely what the campaign that we have been pushing is Plastic Free Jamaica. We have gone to the highways and the byways. We've gone to town centers, communities, and we're engaging persons one-on-one in terms of how they feel about the ban. We're even introducing them to the alternatives. So you would see us walking and say, you know, this is something that we could use, helping them to find that. So Plastic Free Jamaica and Plastic Waste Minimization Project
Yes.
are two of the initiatives that we're working on.
What's kind of feedback are you getting? Are people liking it? They really want to go with it?
You know, the feedback has been relatively good, but we've also had some persons who they feel as if they have been displaced, but we've used it as an opportunity to reassure them and to point them into the direction of where the alternatives are. Some of the feedback that we've gotten from persons of all ages is, you know, we should have done this a long time ago. We should have done this. We've taken too long because this is something that's coming from 2016. And in terms of others, we're getting feedback in terms of the alternatives, and that is where we've really focused a lot of our energy into pointing persons to where the alternatives are.
Where are they?
Well, the alternatives are readily available. They're in supermarkets, they're in haberdashery wholesales, and they're even importers who are bringing in. And the plastic ban has opened up opportunities for even local businesses. We see businesses, even where the straws are concerned, are making bamboo straws. We see businesses, that eco-friendly business is popping up to supplement the need for the ban. So the ban has provided an opportunity for those players.
Right. Are you thinking about plastic as in bottles too?
You know, plastic bottles is one of the critical parts of the announcement. And in terms of the government's plan, that is involved in a deposit refund scheme that is being handled by the Recycling Partners of Jamaica. And the initiative was officially launched in September 2019. One of the things that has already occurred was that on plastic bottles, a $1 cess has been put in from the manufacturer side. So each manufacturer will pay $1 per bottle. And that is going to give the Recycling Partners of Jamaica the resources to expand their network. And currently they have 18 drop-off locations. And I encourage the viewers to visit their website and to call them to find out where they could drop off their plastic bottles.
Those websites again? Where?
Recycling Partners of Jamaica.
Right. Okay.
So the deposit refund scheme, we want to get to the place on which the deposit refund scheme was built, where we have persons, you getting a dollar value per bottle. But we're not quite there yet, but we're taking the steps, and that is something on the agenda.
Yes, because in the past with the bottles, we're usually able to take back our bottles and get money for it, right? So you're heading there.
That is exactly where we're going.
Yes, okay. All right, we take a break now. When we come back with more discussion on the Plastic Ban Initiative, stay with us.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica. No dirty up Jamaica. No dirty up Jamaica. No dirty up Jamaica.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Olivia Anderson, Manager, Public Education and Corporate Communication at NEPA. Right, so talk to us a little bit more about the projects for enforcement.
All right, so where enforcement is concerned, rather, we want Jamaicans to get on board and to comply voluntarily. So one of the things that we have done when we started was we went around the country, and instead of serving people up front and taking it to the courts, we gave them warning notices. We confiscated some of the banned items, and we did that for several businesses. However, we had to take it a step further because later in the year we realized that some persons were and businesses were not complying even after being warned and given what we would say a ticket. So we had to go back and serve those businesses, and today we have served 36 and 19 matters have been heard in parish courts across the island, with our most recent 12 defendants in St. James, in Western Jamaica rather. So we are making good strides. So that brings us to 19, and of the 36 we have one that is going through appeal, and we also have a total of 19 that we have already received judgment from the parish judges on.
Right, so who can be fined? We're asking people not to manufacture these items. But say I go to the store and I buy something and they give me in this banned item. I can be prosecuted?
What we want persons to do, if you go to the store and you get it, report it to us. The emphasis on the ban in terms of how the legislation, and there are two prohibition orders, one under the Trade Act and one under the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, NRC Act. And in terms of how the legislation was drafted, we're not targeting you, the supermarket shopper. We're targeting the supermarkets, we're targeting the wholesales, we're targeting the restaurant owners, because what we want to do is to get the banned items out of the supply chain. We want you to refuse, but we don't want you to have as much. We don't want to make the banned items available to you as much as is possible. Okay. So in terms of those who we have prosecuted, the information has to do with the importation. We haven't prosecuted anyone for importation, and I must use this opportunity to commend the Jamaica Customs Agency, who's been doing an excellent job where border protection is concerned. And then on the ground, we've been working closely with the National Compliance and Regulatory Authority, as well as the security forces, to go in and to get these convictions. We want Jamaicans to comply. We want businesses to comply. We even set up a hotline, and the number is 876-285-8531, and an email address, which is policyonplasticban@nepa.gov.gm, so that individuals, businesses, companies can always reach out to us and get some clarification. One of the things that the government has also put in place is that at the Bureau of Standards Packaging Laboratory, you can get items tested to see whether they fall into the banned items. So there have been mechanisms that have been put in place for persons who are uncertain of whether their items are banned.
Okay. All right. So how do you know that people don't have leftover items?
One of the things that we had asked for was for a declaration. Yes. That was something that we had asked for earlier on. And one of the things in 2019 was that an initial grace period was given until roughly mid-February, end of February in 2019, for persons who had their stocks to deplete. So while we have implemented the ban, we have not taken a draconian measure. We want Jamaicans to feel the importance and to understand that what we're doing, we're not doing it to be harsh on them, but we're doing it to protect for all of us.
Absolutely. Right, to protect us. Let's talk about climate change and the relationship with plastic.
Plastic, there is a study that I would encourage any Jamaican to go and have a look at, and the United Nations Environment Program, it's called Plastic: A Roadmap to Sustainability, and that is where we want to go, sustainability. We want all of our natural resources to be here for our future generations. When we think about plastics, we think about, in terms of our waste management system, the impact that it has, because you have some plastics that takes 500 to 1,000 years to break down. Can you imagine where we're going to store those items? And even if they're in the soil or if they're in a landfill, it's still going to pose a challenge. Soil pollution is also a concern because there are chemicals that are used to make these items, and these can sometimes leach into the soil. And even for those that break down, they break down into something we call microplastics, and there have been several studies to indicate how microplastics have been entering into the food chain. So, my CEO would normally say, one time you used to bring home the fish in a bag, but now you're bringing home the bag in the fish. And we see that the plastics are also impacting on our wildlife, not only fish, but even our turtles, and they're ingesting it. We saw the story internationally of the whale that had tons of plastics in its gut. It died of hunger. So it has a far-reaching implication. It blocks our drains, it blocks our waterways, and if you've ever been, and I'm sure GIS has been, to International Coastal Cleanup Day, we can see firsthand the impact.
Yes, definitely. We have. So we're in phase 2, and there's a phase 3. Yes.
Absolutely.
How's that going? And tell us about that.
Phase 2, we're in continuous dialogue with the manufacturing sector and in terms of the businesses who have come out in support as well. One of the things that we're putting in place is we're reminding businesses in terms of this third phase, one of the straws that are attached to Tetra Pak pouches, to juice pouches. I won't call some of the names, but we know for the small children that they use, those will be banned come 2021. And in terms of the size of the bag will remain the same, but the thickness will increase. So in terms of how that looks, the ban in the first phase targeted bags 1.2 mils, and 1.2 mils is a little technical, but 1.2 mils is thinking of your regular scandal bag. Yes. And then now we know that we go to some bookshops or we get the nice gift bags. We're going up to those sizes. So we're doing it incrementally because we want Jamaicans to make the switch over time.
Okay, good. As we wrap, just your message to Jamaica as it relates to this ban. Try to encourage us how, to really support the band.
We say that we're Jamaica, land of wood and water, and we think about how long plastic takes to break down. We want to have Jamaica, land of wood, water and air for our future generations, and we can only do that by having a plastic-free Jamaica. We also want Jamaicans to see the opportunities that the plastic ban has come, so we want for you to preserve our land by supporting the plastic ban.
Very good. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Useful information. Mm-hmm. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Olivia Anderson, Manager of Public Education and Corporate Communication at NEPA. We urge you to continue recycling and stop using plastic items that have been banned. Keep our country clean. Until next time, when Get the Facts brings you another informative discussion, I'm Rose Campbell. Do take good care.
Apiculture in Jamaica is big business, and farmers have been experiencing lots of success over the years. Grab your pen, pencils, and paper to get all you need to know about participating in this growing industry.
Apiculture is an art and it's a science. And it's an art and science of managing bees. So everything that we do in the hive, everything that is happening in the hive is very scientific. And as beekeepers, we craft the way how we manage the bees. So every beekeeper that you speak to they will have a different approach to different aspects of beekeeping.
Given that the importation of honey into Jamaica is restricted, you can only imagine what big business beekeeping is for our farmers. They have expanded from just providing honey for citizens and have moved on to creating many different byproducts. But have you ever wondered how you can get involved and have your share of the sweetness?
For you to be a beekeeper, you have to develop certain comfort in dealing with this thing, which is not a maybe when you're a beekeeper in Jamaica. It is a must. So every time you get a sting, it becomes irritating to you. But then because we love what we're doing, we don't pay much attention to the irritating part. We're more focused on what we're doing, and we know that at the end of the day we're going to get honey. And when we get honey, we can convert that to money. So for us in St. Thomas, from time to time we have projects, and quite a few of the persons in St. Thomas who are beekeepers, they start out benefiting from projects that would have beekeeping components. So training is critical, because then you have to know how to navigate your way through an environment that is challenging to allow you to harvest honey and to make a livelihood from beekeeping. I would advise anybody who would like to make their own box to purchase a box to start with, or you borrow a properly made box, because the bees are very scientific. They're very specific in terms of the design of the space that they occupy. And if you make a mistake and where you're supposed to have 3/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch, you put 1/2 inch, or you put less than 1/4 inch, then you're going to have problem as a beekeeper. So a beekeeper has to be knowledgeable about what is normal in the hive. So I tell people that when you come into the apiary, there's a normal sound. And if you listen, you hear a hum. When I hear that as a beekeeper, I know that they're finding food out there. They're finding nectar, they're finding pollen, and so on, when I hear this hum. When you go into the hive, there are many things in there that you have to observe. Right? You have to observe the condition of the comb, whether the combs are, I always said, old and crystallized, because once they get old and crystallized, you want to get rid of those combs. You want to look at the color of the brood. When we say the brood, we're talking about from the larval stage now to when they get to the pupal stage. You want to observe that, because there's a normal way that they should look, and there's an abnormal way when something is going wrong that they would look differently. You want to observe the queen and the condition of the queen as expressed in the amount of eggs that are laid, as expressed by the amount of seal brood that you see. Right? In the bee yard, you want to be observant of everything. I usually tell trainees that when you come into the bee yard or into the apiary, you have to look around at the trees and the shrubs around, because there might be a swarm that is lingering. That swarm might have taken place in your absence, might even be the very morning before you come to the apiary. You have to observe and see if any of that is there, because if you let that swarm escape, then you're looking at some dollars and some of your profitability that is going down the drain. You want to be able to have a bee yard that is not necessarily sterile, but clean enough that if you have dead bees around, you can see them on the ground. If you have bees that have been affected by the varroa mite and they are suffering from viral attack, there's a virus that they call the wing curl virus. Those bees, when they reach the age and the stage to fly, they cannot fly because the wings are deformed. And so those bees, you will see them crawling on the ground, and they will crawl around on the ground until ants get them or until they die.
That's just the bare bones of what you need to learn about beekeeping. Do more research to increase your knowledge. But as you do, ask yourself this. Am I registered with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA?
It is of great importance for a farmer to become registered or get registered with RADA because indirectly they assist us in making national plans. For example, when we are doing our national plan, knowing the demographics of the farmer, where they are, the type of production that they do, it allows us to pinpoint as to what projects or programs can be implemented. And also, if we should have disaster, diseases, we know where the concentration of farmers are located. Or once you come to the RADA office, you can either speak with myself, the livestock officer, or the extension officer, and we'll provide you basic information on what is needed, how you go about it. We also give you the other linkages, such as the apiculture unit at Borders, that you can contact for other information. We also do assessment. We assist you in doing site assessment of your apiaries, and also kind of hold your hand in terms of getting started. And if we have projects or programs and we can have you on that project or program, we also put you there. The advice that I give to beekeepers is to do your production in a manner that has a business-like approach. From my observation, many beekeepers think that having the bees they're just there. They don't really take the time out to assess their apiaries. Mr. McNish mentioned about sanitation. They don't really look at that. So I say just manage your apiary, monitor your hives, keep your proper record so that you can have a good production.
Garbage collection, maintenance of public sanitary conveniences, upkeep of cemeteries, provision of water shops, road improvement, street lights, poor relief programs, community beautification. All these services are funded by you. Yes, they are, when you pay your property tax. Pay your annual property tax to make Jamaica the place of choice for all.
Jamaica is scheduled to host the 4th Energy and Climate Partnership of the Americas ECPA Ministerial Meeting from February 27 to 28 at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. The ECPA Ministerial Meeting will be held under the theme Energy Resilience and Investment Opportunities. It will include the participation of energy ministers from 30 countries, development partners, and private sector stakeholders. The sessions will explore the relationship between energy and gender, poverty, efficiency, resilience, and research. It will also explore renewable energy, efficient use of cleaner fossil fuels, and regional energy integration. The government will be using information garnered from the ministerial meeting to improve the island's efforts at becoming the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thanks for watching another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Until then, send your feedback on today's show to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages and download our app on your Apple and Android devices. And you can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Hey guys! guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just hold a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned. On this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be hanging out with Natalie Otar, more popularly known as Natalia O. She's a marketing and PR consultant with a keen sense of style, a great taste for food and good vibes. She'll be taking us to Kaluga Cafe in Old Harbour, and then it will be on to Cellar 8 in Manor Park. So don't go anywhere. More Chill Spot after this. Hey guys, so we're on our way out to Kaluga Cafe, which is in, get this, Old Harbour. It's a full service bar and restaurant out there where we're gonna meet up with Natalie. But before we do, here are a few fun facts about Natalie. She's been working since she's been 17 years old. She's a single mom of 2 boys, and she's the voice and owner of Natalia O, which is a blog she started, and it has won several Caribbean Blog Awards. So let's go meet Natalie. So how did you even find this place?
Well, actually, I was at an event the other night and they did the catering and it was amazing.
Yeah?
Kaluga, yes. They had a wicked coconut shrimp.
And what else are we going to be doing for today?
Well, there's a hidden gem new in Kingston in Manor Park and at Cellar 8. So we're going to go there.
I've heard of
after
it. Never been though. I'm excited.
They have a nice wine selection.
Is it a wine bar? Or?
As well.
Oh, okay.
So they have nice bites and it's a good mingle after hours jam. You'll like it.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll fit right in.
Thank
Wow,
you very
that's
much.
pretty.
Wow, it's very beautiful.
Salute to the chill spot.
Okay, so we're talking about your professional life. How did you get started in marketing and PR though?
Marketing started out when I started a blog a couple years old, and writing for the newspaper allowed me a great platform to showcase different personalities, different fashion, different style elements in Jamaica for the average woman, everyday woman. So marketing just became an extension of the blog, and it's been amazing. It's just constantly evolving. I love the fact that I can now say I'm a photographer. I've actually shot you.
Really?
For Outlook, you got the cover.
Oh, yes.
Being in the creative world and in marketing, it allows your profession to be constantly evolving. I wear different hats. I'm a stylist, image consultant, and digital marketer.
Now, what would you say is your proudest moment so far in your career?
The proudest moment would be, I guess, I started the blog with a 13-year-old computer and I won the blog awards for the Caribbean. Yes, twice actually. And in a fashion realm where I'm not wearing designer shoes and I'm wearing budget pieces for the average everyday woman, that's an incredible feat. I was also featured on the Wendy Williams show twice.
Congratulations.
And yeah, as a Jamaican girl from country, yeah, that in itself was pretty amazing.
What was the feature about?
What's my style? So she has an Instagram feature. I'm not even sure she still does that. So twice I was featured.
You're mainly known for being a fashionista, having the blog. What else have you done?
You know, I think, Candy, the often misconception is that anyone who's an authority in fashion, it's a little trivial. And I think we need to debunk that in Jamaica because they're brilliant minds wearing fashion, talking about fashion,
Absolutely.
and gives us a good platform if we can empower women to look good.
It has definitely grown though, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it
and
has.
the perception of it, I mean,
It's
people are-
changing.
Yes,
It's changing
absolutely.
slowly. Well, you know, for a while I was a manager for a non-profit organization in Toronto, and what it served as a vocational program for persons suffering from mental illnesses. And what that was just eye-opening for me. It gave me a whole new world look on the world, because you develop empathy, you understand not everybody performs and works on your level, and you have to learn how to validate them, how to get people suffering from mental illness to work and to perform is not an easy task, to meet targets, to validate them and keep them going. So that was the most profound thing I've done in my life, and it taught me the most. And I do encourage everyone out there to volunteer. If ever you can volunteer and help others. And certainly it helped to demystify the stigma of mental illnesses. For myself, I didn't realize 1 in 5 persons suffer from mental illnesses.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that, you know.
And it opened my eyes that even as normal people, within ourselves, we waver on that spectrum of mental illness.
How would you say you maintain your competitive edge?
I always push myself harder. I'm like my hardest critic. So I'm always saying, Natalie, you can do this better. You know, you can go ahead, go more, push more. And, you know, I set high standards for myself and my team, my clients, my employers. They all expect the best from me. And my attention to detail helps me to achieve those.
Coming up, what sorts of challenges have you had to overcome?
Well, being that this is a creative world, we find that a lot of it is intellectual property, and you find it's hard for people to quantify and to say it's just an idea and to put a value on it. A lot of times people say, oh, let's go have a coffee and sit and talk, and they're picking your brains and they don't want to pay you for consultation. They'll take your idea and run with it. That is probably the biggest struggle I find.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition, or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. Clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
With empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere the money is, that's where I am.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald-White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
What sorts of challenges have you had to overcome in your career so far?
Well, being that this is a creative world, we find that a lot of it is intellectual property, and you find it's hard for people to quantify and to say it's just an idea and to put a value on it. A lot of times people say, oh, let's go have a coffee and sit and talk, and they're picking your brains and they don't want to pay you for consultation. They'll take your idea and run with it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is a challenge. And of course, you know, you can get protection from legal team as for your creative content, but that is probably the biggest struggle I find, that a lot of people will call just to talk and pick your brains, and then they run with the ideas.
And what sorts of impact do you hope to have in the industry that you're in now?
Well, you know what, Candy, I must say, I don't know why you're featuring me here. I'm not that interesting. I'm completely humbled because I love what I'm doing. Every day I get to do what I love, talk about fashion, promote brands, and to reach their target demographic by a strategic approach. It means I love what I'm doing. I want to continue doing that. I want to continue enjoying my life, enjoying my job, and achieving my goals.
On a day-to-day basis, what keeps you motivated? How do you keep going?
Well, you know, I have 2 boys.
Well, that's enough.
That's enough. They keep me going. And, you know, someone said to me the other night at that party that, Natalie, what motivates me about the future of this world is that women like you are raising future kings.
Oh, that's so
And
nice.
yeah, that means the most to me.
And what's the best piece of advice you've ever received that you'd want to impart on us?
Oh, wow, that's a good one because I never forget it. The same telemarketing company that I worked with when I was leaving to go somewhere else, a lady told me, said, Natalie, always leave a job that you can get it back.
Right.
And that has stuck with me over the years.
Now, you mentioned that you've been working since you've been 17 years old. How has that impacted you?
Well, it means I'm a go-getter, and it also means I push myself, I have initiative, and I always find a way, and I'm always revolving and evolving and growing. And in every situation, I think you can learn. That nonprofit organization, I remember calling a former employer, and I'm like, this is not for me. It's a lot of work. I'm going to cry every day. And he said, Natalie, go. And I did, and it changed my life. It opened my eyes.
I mean, you sound like you've done so many different types of things. You even went away and you came back. How was that transition?
It's been good. Like, I mean, you know, I roll with the punches. I adjust, I adapt.
Now, of all the things that you've done, what would you say is the single most impactful one on who you are today?
I think working with Mark Azan was really good. Yeah, he taught me a lot, and he trusted me, and he said, Natalie, you're in control, go ahead. And he saw results. He saw instant results. And of course, a lot of my current clients right now, they see results when I produce, and that's rewarding in itself, I must say.
And what else are we going to be doing for today?
Well, there's a hidden gem new in Kingston in Manor Park, and Accelerate. So we're going to go
I've
there.
heard of
after
it, never been though.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's nice.
Coming up, now we want to talk about the personal side of you. Tell me about your childhood.
A lot of people don't know is that I'm from a big family. I have 15 brothers and sisters.
What?
Yes.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Michelle Chung, CEO and co-founder of Honey Bun in Jamaica, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Lovely, lovely, yes. I have to taste it first, and then that's standard, right? So I have to swish it around?
Yes,
Do I have
swish it
to
around.
swish? Did I swish okay?
Swish, yeah.
Oh, this is nice.
Like it?
Good to go.
Good to go. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, ladies.
Thank
enjoy.
you very much,
Yourself.
Milton.
It's your-
Thank you, Milton. Salute.
Again, yes.
It's your spot.
So Natalie, now we want to talk about the personal side of you. Tell me about your childhood.
Well, a lot of people don't know is that I'm from a big family. I biologically have 15 brothers and sisters.
What?
Yes. And I was raised by one of my older brothers. From I was 3, I was adopted by him and his family, raised in Mandeville all my life. And it was a good experience, good childhood. My father was an honorable man.
Right. What about the schools that you attended?
Well, I'm a country girl, so I went to West Indies College, which is now called Victor Dixon.
Okay.
We wore black to school. I think that is my affinity to black right now. Even now, I still love it. And it was a Christian school, an Adventist school. So it also taught me the importance of having a balanced spiritual life. I love their approach to teaching. They had a test every week, and it made us continually prepare for exams. So we did really well in high school. And later on, it's the same approach to all kinds of studies that I did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, you mentioned previously in our first interview that you have 2 boys. Talk to us about them.
Dylan and Dustin, they're amazing. Little kings. Dylan is at Campion and 2nd year, and he's a special child, really guided by the Lord. He's an amazing person, and he teaches me every day. And Dustin is my spirited child. He is very theatrical, and he's got a marketing eye as well. He knows all the slogans, all the marketing slogans for every major company out there, and he can tell why that slogan works with this brand and mommy. So it's just amazing to see 2 different personalities in these brothers.
I've always found it interesting that children who grew up in the same house under the same circumstances can come out so different. That's very interesting.
But they complement each other, and they're just loving, happy boys. I'm blessed. I am.
You know the food nice when you taste it and you start dance.
It's delicious.
With the salmon. What is it about pairing wine with food? How does that work? Do you know?
You know, it's not as complicated as people think anymore. Yeah, they're saying that red and white goes with whatever now. But traditionally, white is with white meat, fish, chicken, poultry, and red is with dark meat. But now you're mixing it.
Right. Okay. I want to get back into our discussion about the personal side of you. What would you say is your fondest childhood memory?
I had a good childhood. I had a really good childhood. I would say my dad, as I said, we're in a big family, and well, my dad, my older brother, he would get all the families together, all the brothers, the sisters, and we would load up cars and vans and head out to Negril for the weekend. And I remember the music playing, going on the way, a car full of kids, and it's just really good. And I think those are my fondest memories.
What else do you like to do for fun?
The truth is, I'm a workaholic, but I do like to go to the beach, Treasure Beach.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
Untouched.
Yes.
Beautiful part of Jamaica. It's a gem. Yes, I like to go to church on Sundays. It's balance, good balance. Yeah, man. So faith is the most important thing for me, and it is the driving force for any major decision. I go take everything to prayer before I make a big decision.
What would you say is next for you? What's on the forefront now?
Wow, what's next? I just hope to be doing what I love, enjoying what I do, and what I never feel like I'm working.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Milton.
Ladies, it was a pleasure serving you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
And Natalie, thank you so much for the most perfect day. We've actually never done 2 restaurants like back to back. So that was interesting, but I'm a foodie, so I loved it, and the food was absolutely delicious.
It was.
So thanks again. Let's cheers it.
Thanks for having me.
Very much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of Chill Spot. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, hanging out with Natalie Otar and experiencing her very exciting chill spots. Beluga Cafe in Old Harbour and Cellar 8 in Manor Park. Until next week, I'm Candy. Bye.
Okay, let's do it again.
Ready? Hey guys, so we're on our way out to Beluga Cafe. You want to taste the salmon? Knock yourself out. Woo! Delicious. Strong.
Strong. Pretty though.
Beautiful.
I like manly drinks with cherries.
So good. Yeah, this is my 3rd meal in 2 hours.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition, or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment, and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay. We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV is here at the JSC Core Competencies to Excel as a Corporate Secretary. I'm your host, Andrew Laidley. Please stay with us.
I wish to welcome you to yet another workshop, Corporate Secretaries Workshop. As you know, we have these workshops each year, and the reason we continue to do so is that we feel that we should be at the cutting edge of any changes that is occurring in whether locally or globally. We feel that the workshops have been beneficial to us so far, and that with each day when we have these changes, we should continue to look at educating the persons in this industry. This morning and this workshop is very special, as we will be hosting, it is being hosted in association with the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. And as we move towards introducing the Corporate Governance Index, I think today is especially important so that we can see how this can be incorporated into what we do as company secretaries and others within the industry. It is especially important that we look at this to see how our companies will score higher in terms of corporate governance. Today is intended to be a very good workshop based on the persons who will be presenting. So I invite you to stay tuned, ask the relevant questions, and ensure that when we leave here, we can implement what we have learned.
The Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators is an institution that certifies secretaries, chartered secretaries, and I believe it is the only institution in the world that does that. It's incorporated by Royal Charter and has its base in England, London, England. And our dear leader, Simon Osborne, is the CEO of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries. In Jamaica, we have the Association of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, which is a branch of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries. Today, we are very happy to be hosting this seminar with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and I hope that what we present today, you might find something to take away from it, because we are going to try to give you something practical that you can use in your everyday life.
Governance has to suit each jurisdiction. One size cannot fit all. Even within a peer group of companies engaged in similar activities, similar business, because the dynamic is going to be different, because the business conditions are going to be different, the governance framework will necessarily be different. And as you comply or explain, also within a peer group of companies doing the same, broadly the same activity, you will find that they comply in different ways. And that's the beauty of a code of principles. So what do we mean by governance? The Cadbury definition, the process by which an organization is directed or controlled. The other perceived virtue of corporate governance on the part of politicians and policymakers is that it leads to increased opportunities and choice for all. Now that's one of those wonderful glib expressions that rolls off the tongue of a politician. And it sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But what on earth does it mean? As a political aspiration, it's great. Opportunities and choice for all. Hurrah, yeah, we'll all vote for that. But can we really expect corporate governance to deliver such an overtly political objective? I'll leave that one hanging in the air. Poor old Bob Diamond, he gets a bit of a caning over this one. He did actually say that corporate governance is not how you behave when you think no one is watching. He did actually say that. But I think it's a good reminder that, there's no point trying to do one thing, say one thing and do another. That sort of hypocrisy, you'll get found out eventually. The truth will always out. Governance is concerned with the exercise of power, the role of directors, the responsibilities of shareholders, and how those are balanced. And it also deals with disclosure, transparency, accountability, internal control, and making sure you avoid that concentration of power in too few hands. Hence the desire, it's now become standard, certainly in the UK. America's finding it harder, but actually separating the roles of chairman and chief executive so that you achieve a more constructive tension at the top levels in the C-suite. What are some of the governance hot topics? Well, I don't know what it's like here, but remuneration in the UK never ceases to amaze me. I mean, and the way in which non-executive directors serving on remuneration committees aren't smelling the coffee, I just don't get it. But and the United States is just as bad. And what that is leading to is remuneration which is detached from performance, or levels of remuneration detached from performance, are just leading to increasing inequality of wealth. And I think that could lead to unfortunate consequences socially. And it's something that has to be tackled. Hot topic. Legal risk has risen up the scale of corporate risks. The whole board diversity thing, gender is a major factor. But there is no doubt about it, board behaviour improves the more women join the board. And I know that from my own experience, funny enough, in a charity where I was deputy chair and I chaired the nomination committee. And I had to wield the knife. I removed 6 older male trustees, brought in 4 ladies, all of whom were younger. The average age came down. The speed with which business was transacted improved. Shorter board meetings, I'll drink to that. Made a difference. Now that's one example, but I think there's no doubt about it that I think the presence of women in boardrooms adds beneficially to the decision-making process. You've got the whole responsible capitalism issue, the managing of stakeholders and accountability to wider stakeholders. And that, interestingly, has led to the appointment of a committee now for a code of governance for private companies. I think that's long overdue in the UK. When you think about some of the bigger private companies, and I'm sure you've got them here, if one of those collapses, the impact on the economy and on the government could be significant. And then the whole question of board evaluations. Following the financial crisis, ICSA did some work on boardroom behaviours. The conclusion of which were 4 uncomfortable truths. Well-run companies can make strategic and sometimes catastrophic misjudgments. Risk management not properly overseen, monitored or reviewed by the board. Often it was just left to the audit committee. It's a board responsibility, is oversight of risk. Remuneration and incentivization not aligned with shareholders' interests, and a failure to inform stakeholders, not just shareholders, stakeholders, sufficiently. That work we did identified 3 areas needing attention. Institutional. Are corporate governance policies and architecture fit for purpose? Has management installed adequate processes and systems? And are directors exhibiting appropriate behaviours? So we had there the institutional, the organisational, and the behavioural. Now, we identified in that work that good practice boardroom behaviour was characterised by those 9 features. So clear understanding of the board's role. The board is there to oversee the management of the business. The board is not there to manage the business. And non-executive directors forget it's a case of noses in, fingers out. They smell, finger it. Does this business pass the smell test? Once the non-executive directors start interfering in the management of the business, it's very hard to hold an executive to account. You can't. You've syndicated the responsibility and the liability. Appropriate deployment of knowledge, skills, experience and judgment. So what balance of those have you got on the board? Independent thinking. Assumptions and established orthodoxy need to be questioned. Challenge has to be constructive. If people come onto a board full of suspicion or just trying to show off what a tough guy I am, I'll show these executives up for a load of incompetent idiots. If that's the mentality which a non-executive has, they're asking for trouble because it will just lead to tension, in fact conflict on the board. Non-executive directors have to be constructive friends of the management team. Can't overemphasize that. Constructive friends. Yes, and it's knowing how to challenge in a way which doesn't put people's backs up. And it requires a skill, emotional intelligence for a start. Yes, there has to be rigorous debate. The decision-making environment has to be supportive. There needs to be a shared vision. And for the chair, it's vital to close each item of business in a timely way, not let it go round and round and round ad nauseam. That's not the way to do it.
We go to a short break. More when we return.
Doggin Global Introduction. Doggin Global is an integrated multidisciplinary professional service firm. We are integrated as one firm and provide several professional services, including audit, accounting, tax, IT, risk, HR, performance, M&A, corporate recovery, and other advisory services. The firm is organized in several professional service units, which includes Doggin Auditors, Doggin Advisors, Doggin Legal, Doggin Finance, Doggin HR Solutions, Doggin Tech Solutions, Doggin Media, Doggin Corporate Secretarial. If you are interested in any of our services, please contact us for a free quote. Email info@doggin.global. Website doggin.global.
Welcome back to BATV's coverage of the JSE core competencies to excel as a corporate secretary.
We are now going to have a panel discussion, as you will see, and members of the local chapter will be participating, and Mrs. Henry Pottinger is going to be the moderator, and they're going to be talking about things that happen in a very practical way.
How rewarding is your job as a company secretary? Any tips that you can give to budding company secretaries, people who are waiting in the wings to take over your jobs? For me, I enjoy my job. I will not work anywhere else until I retire than with KPMG. As to rewarding, yes, it is rewarding in many respects. I like to see that the people who I work with, they are enabled, they are eloquent, they can answer questions from shareholders, they deal with matters like that with alacrity, and they're very responsive.
It's not glamorous in the sense that if the reward you're looking for is your name in lights, it's clearly the wrong profession for you. So I'm glad that Liz actually said the word enable, because you are an enabler. You're a facilitator. You know, we all understand, certainly after listening to Simon this morning, the importance of corporate governance. Well, all of that falls on your shoulders for you to administer. You pull it together. You keep all the moving pieces going in unison, and you don't there will be no name in lights, certainly not where I operate for that. So if that's what you, but it can be, obviously it's very rewarding in other ways. Just in terms of tips, I can't stress enough, well, there are two main things I'll say. One is that just you have to have a high level of administrative capability, and and obviously you can't do it on your own. So whether it means an internal team or going for external support, you have to be extremely organized, and you have to make sure that you create a lot of systems which allow you to ensure that you comply with all the requirements that you have, which are numerous. Other than that, I can't stress enough the importance of what we keep calling soft skills, but they're not soft at all because they're critical for the role. Definitely, there's a high level of judgment and diplomacy and management of relationships of people which is involved. We talked a little bit earlier about the relationship the tension between management and the board, which can sometimes exist. And in that case, your role is critical because you really are the diplomat who has to kind of navigate those two relationships and those two different sets of roles within a company. So that I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that you develop your relationships and that you manage personalities.
I recall some years ago I did a document for my chairman, and I went to him and I'm explaining to him what it is that I'm doing and what it is that he needs. He says to me, where I must sign. So it gives you that level of confidence and trust, and to ensure that what you're doing and what you're presenting is correct. And you must build up that whole self-integrity so that, it is not questioned. And I feel that if I have to take something to somebody and they ask me, so where is this or what is that? I do my own self-assessment, because when I do a document, it says where, what, when, why, who, and so forth. So I ask myself those questions so that, you can develop that trust when you're working with somebody.
The job is really very, very interesting. The things that come across your desk are amazing, dynamic, invigorating, challenging. Scope is very, very diverse. Corporate governance has really taken its hold, on Jamaica and within the Caribbean. There is just so much that we have to learn and offer to our clients and to ourselves. Certainly, if someone is looking at this as a profession, I think corporate governance is the way to go. That's just me personally. You'll always assist and help your clients, but there's always a nuance on what has occurred, what should have been done, and how we're going to correct it. And that's what I love about it. And working with PwC and my team, we have just so much to do. And you've got to be very structured, lists, and more lists. You have to be very detail-oriented and be able to pick up, and very meticulous, and be able to pick up errors very easily.
In my role as a corporate secretary, the reward for me is I am constantly learning. Every day there is something that I didn't know, or something now that I have to go and know. And it is no 2 days are ever the same. Especially in our company, which we tend to be very entrepreneurial, the ideas come, and as a company secretary and as compliance, I have to research to say, can it be done? Can it not be done? Would this be in breach of anything? I would also advise that the regulators are good allies. From where I sit, I call them a lot because I need their guidance. They are more intimate with the laws and regulations and how they interpret what I am asking them to just bounce things off. So I would ask you to use them up. The company's office, the stock exchange, the Bank of Jamaica, the FSC, they're all very open to questions. No one has said no to me yet. Even if they don't know the answer, they'll research it and get back to us. And our real success lies in having a great team behind us, including KPMG.
Thank you.
And our team in Dom Rep, Trinidad and Jamaica, that supports me, because we just could not do it alone.
Thanks a lot, ladies. I hope then that those of you in the audience found something informative, instructive, that you can take away from this panel discussion.
Coming up after the break, what companies need to know about the Corporate Governance Index.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
Welcome back to BATV's coverage of the JSE core competencies to excel as a corporate secretary.
So what is this corporate governance index that we have been talking about? And it really is a tool that has been developed to measure how all entities that are listed, at least surely for us listed on the stock exchange, how it conforms to various established corporate governance principles. Now, typically, the index has a numerical value, right, where the extremes of the values are overall good and poor. And also, it assists in improving the transparency and ultimately FDI for countries. Because research has shown that countries and surely listed companies, like using the stock exchanges that have a corporate governance index, especially when there's not very strong regulatory environment for them to operate within, the corporate governance index has actually helped to create greater investment opportunities. And what the research has shown is that countries with the indices have shown significant growth in corporate governance practices. So let's talk a little about the corporate governance index in Jamaica. And the index has been developed by the Jamaica Stock Exchange. As I indicated before, it's the first for the Caribbean region. The process that is being utilized is that it's going to be automatic, so that whether you're listed on the junior market or you're listed on the main market, you are going to be assessed using the index manual. So the purpose of the index, as stated by the Jamaica Stock Exchange, is to first of all periodically measure listed companies' conformance to required corporate governance principles and practices. It also should help to give companies an opportunity to differentiate themselves from other companies, because while all companies are listed and expected to be guided by certain principles and certain rules and certain legislations, you can differentiate yourself by the score that you probably will get based on the fact that you are adhering to a number of these principles. It will also provide a benchmark by which other parties, external parties, locally and internationally now, can gauge companies' adherence to corporate governance practices.
Every year we have a workshop for the corporate secretary because we realize that they are an integral part of the corporate governance and effectiveness of publicly listed companies, whether it's on the junior exchange or the big board. And we were fortunate in that the head of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of the UK was coming on a visit to Jamaica to meet with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, because we are in the process of representing them in providing training and continuing development for corporate secretaries, persons who want to be corporate secretaries, and as a matter of fact, there is an upcoming fast track that's going to be available for attorneys and chartered accountants who invariably are performing the duties of the chartered secretary, and what it will allow them to do is to have the formal chartered secretary designation. So we felt that this was very important to continue to lift the profile of the chartered secretary and their role in listed companies.
I thought the conference was excellent, actually. The seminar was excellent. It touched on very important aspects that are critical for the development of our businesses within Jamaica and internationally, and for our companies, concentrating on corporate governance and the amendments that have just occurred in the Companies Act and why corporate governance is so important. So I encourage everyone to be at the next seminar.
The governance is here to stay. There's no doubt about that. And it's the proportionate application of governance principles which is so important in all types of organisation. But in order to be able to do that, every organisation needs to be clear about its organisational purpose. Then the board, the directors, need to be clear about the key values by which that purpose is going to be delivered. Only then can you devise a governance framework for your particular type of organisation. Every organisation, however big, however small, needs to do that.
Who does corporate governance benefit again?
Obviously, it benefits the companies themselves, it benefits their shareholders as the owners, or if it's an unincorporated body, the members. But it also benefits wider society. I think that's the important point. Their employees, those with whom they do business, and ultimately, because if an enterprise fails and is employing people, and it fails because of poor governance practices, the ultimate responsibility financially was going to fall on the government. For example, in social security payouts for unemployed people. I think also, if companies fail because of poor governance, it doesn't reflect well on the country. And for a country that is trying to entice inward investment, if the governance framework isn't up to snuff, as we say, then that could have a potentially negative effect. So good governance, it just makes sense. There's plenty of anecdotal evidence too that good governance enhances reputation. It also, for organisations, particularly commercial ones, reduces the cost of capital. It just makes sense.
That's it from us here at the JSC Core Competencies to Excel as a Corporate Secretary. I've been your host, Andrew Laidley, and thanks for tuning in to Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Wilson, and I'm the creator of the Ox System. I just felt as if all the hair products I was using in my hair was just not making that difference that I knew was actually possible. So I basically knew something was missing from the products. Every single product that I had tried. It was good, but it just wasn't good enough. And one afternoon, when I was about to start washing, I started to mix a few natural stuff in my kitchen, and I would put it in my hair before the actual conditioner. And about 8 months after I'm doing that every single week, I finally realized that it made a huge difference, and persons were noticing the actual difference. And 2 friends who had salons said, Suzanne, can I try some of it in my clients' hair and see what the reaction is? They really loved it, and then one day I asked one of them, who was not that busy, if she would allow me to actually rent her chair so that I could get in different texture hair, and the rest is actually history. I started doing that in 2010, was when we actually chartered the business. But we really started marketing, social media, and so on and so forth about 2 years now, because we were gradually, slowly adding to the hair care line just to make sure that we had a proper system in place. And I mean, we will always be adding, because there will always be things that are needed. We will improve on like something else, so we'll always be doing stuff with our products. We do have a salon, which is our lab. This is actually where we can get proper feedback. We can do trial and error, and we can get feedback also from the clients. We also have a hair care system, shampoo, pre-conditioning booster, conditioner, leave-in rejuvenating mist, serum, hair butter, maintenance oil, and we also have a body butter. But for now, we are kind of concentrating more on our hair care line. In the salon, we only use the Ox System products, except for if we're doing color or we're doing a relaxer. But everything else is just Ox. Why we can do this is because Ox System is a system, and it totally encompasses every single step that is necessary to make everybody's hair look really good. Plus, Ox System is also about hair care practices. They are unfamiliar methodologies, but they really work. So we don't only have products on the market, we also combine these products with hair care regimen that are not normal, not typical, but they really make a huge difference. Initially it was OX, but then I realized that another company had the name, and I didn't know who was first on the market. So I said, you know what, how can I make it Ox, where you can still say Ox easily, where it flows off the lips? Just add another X. So to be honest with you, there is really nothing to it. We cater to everybody. Doesn't matter whether you are Black, Indian, white, Chinese. It doesn't matter whether you are a man or a woman. And we also cater to children. It does not matter. Ox is for everybody. We were able to self-capitalize, because remember that we just started with just one product. So it has been steady growth over the years. That initial capital was used to buy ingredients and for research and development, and then also, you know, packaging and all of that. I would say that the feedback that we have gotten since Ox has been on board, initially it was disbelief. For instance, even on our social media, we have before and we have afters. Persons have said that it wasn't true, that that these photos were retouched, is weave we put in their hair and all of that. So we have a few disbelievers. Another thing too is that because our unfamiliar methodologies are so far-fetched, seemingly far-fetched, because they really aren't. They are facts. People tend to not want to believe it. Another thing too is we educate from the core. So we will explain to black women especially per se that African textured hair is very fragile and very delicate. There are some people who believe that African textured hair is strong, which is the furthest from the truth. So by dispelling some of these myths, we get a little resistance. People get offended and everything. But let's put it this way. My thing is, if you are not working with the facts and the truth, then you will never get the result the way you want it. Knowledge is power. So we are trying to impart knowledge so that people can know how to properly execute. With respect to that, we could even go to the salon and you can ask one of the clients over there what has been her experience using Ox and abiding by our unfamiliar methodologies.
Since using the Ox product, I've noticed a great difference in my hair in terms of how it feels, how it looks. It's fuller, it's thicker, it's softer. I've had a lot of compliments on my hair, and basically since coming to Ox, all we've been doing is using natural products. We no longer brushes our hair. We comb our hair like once per week, and it's been phenomenal. Natural fabulosity.
Hi, I'm Carrie. For me, the Ox system has been phenomenal. I am very bad with my hair. I neglect my hair. I don't moisturize. I don't cover anything. And Susan will tell you that I come here with my hair in deplorable state. But whenever I come and she uses her products, my hair looks fabulous, as you can see now. And it's good for moisture. It's good for the texture of your hair. And I fully endorse the product.
Since using the Ox products, I have really been happy with my hair. My name is Elisa. I travel quite often and I make sure that I stock up on my Ox product, which I use every single day. I didn't think I could go without brushing my hair, but as you can see, I haven't brushed my hair since starting using the Ox product, maybe about 8 months now, and I love my hair. I have friends from abroad who are asking me for the products, and I definitely will be in touch with Susan to get me some products.
We do have profits, yes, but it is constantly being reinvested in the business. We are located at 9 Merrick Avenue, which is off South Avenue, and yes, this is a very good location for the business because we are central, and when you think about traffic and all of that, especially when we have clients who come in their lunch times, it's a very good location. The Ox team is based on my husband, Brian, Sebastian, who is literally he's like part of our business. And then we have our Ox team at the salon, very dedicated staff, very loyal staff, and very also serious about what Ox stands for and the information we are trying to impart to everyone. For instance, Fadia, she saw us on Facebook. She was very interested in the befores and the afters, and she came, and she literally came just to purchase products, but she was so fascinated with the different executions that she saw as opposed to what she was trained to actually do, that she sat there for the whole day. And I said, if you wish, you may come and sit again tomorrow. And she did that for about 1 week. And then I said, well, since you already went to beauty school, would you like to help us? And she said yes, and she is still with us today. It has been over 1 year. A culture of professionalism, loyalty, excitement with respect to what we're trying to impart to the world. Right now, Jamaica, but obviously to the world, we like Ox to be a brand. So we make sure that everybody who works for Ox is very excited and empowered about what we're trying to impart, because, for instance, our unfamiliar methodologies go against the grain. Every cosmetology school, whether in Jamaica or in the world, we say things that are not typical. So anyone and everyone who works with us have a loyal to what we are trying to impart. For the salon, average eight hours, but for myself and my husband and Sebastian, we never stop working, literally. I mean, there'll be times when I'm on the computer all hours of the night, and so are Sebastian and my husband, Brian. We just never stop working.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
We generate new ideas by listening and really paying attention to the needs of people, women, because Black women spend the most money on hair care products every single year, no matter where you are in the world. And one of the reasons is because we don't really have the right answers. So when you don't have the answers, you are constantly searching.
Since coming here, my hair is no longer relaxed. The texture is awesome. It's soft and it has grown, and the whole system is just tremendous, and I would recommend it to anyone.
When you are searching, then you keep buying and you keep buying. So this week you use this product and you think, oh my God, this is supposed to do this, and it doesn't. We listen. We always keep our ears to the ground, and we listen. We get feedback from our clients. I even use myself as a guinea pig. I listen to what the Ox team has to say, because they are dealing with like so many different textures also, and just keeping abreast on what is out there, squashing some of the ridiculous stuff that is out there with proper information. We build a successful customer base. We actually garner them initially from social media, word of mouth, referrals. We hold on to our customer base by making sure that we listen to their needs. We make sure that we offer a website which has tips and advice, how-to videos. So if they can't get in touch with us, they can go to the website, refresh their memory as to what they're not supposed to do, and of course what they're supposed to do. It's 24 hours, obviously, it's a website. And like I said, we just really make sure that we listen to their needs and we guide them along the way, always. A huge challenge is our unfamiliar methodologies. Our unfamiliar methodologies really go against the grain. Every single cosmetology school, whether, like I said, here or in the world, are going to be opposed to some of what we are teaching. But we are taking it from the core information. So we understand what the biological structure of the hair is, with whatever race you are. So if you are African textured hair, like we have photos in our salon that show you the different hair textures. So we say why you shouldn't be doing this. This is the reason why. So it's a very huge challenge when it comes to our unfamiliar methodologies, especially. We are really going against the grain. Cosmetology schools are not teaching what we are teaching, but we know that it actually works. We see results. So yes, it's a challenge, but we see the results. And the thing is, even when clients come to us and the change sounds really just not able to be, it seems impossible for them. And we know change is like never easy, or sometimes it is not easy. But once persons abide by our teachings, along with using our products, then what you find is that their co-workers or their family and their friends say, wow, what a way we are seeing a noticeable difference with your hair. And then those challenges now become less challenging. I would say that we have not had any failures. We have had a few hiccups. I will give you an example. For instance, we have satin wear. So we have satin pillowcases and satin headwear, because satin and silk are the only two materials that you should really be using on your hair. So because of that, I made a satin scrunchie. We explain that especially when you're dealing with African textured hair, when it is relaxed, like black women who have relaxed hair. Remember, once again, it is very fragile. So we explain, do not put these scrunchies on tight in the hair. You're not supposed to have your hair tight when you have African textured hair and it is relaxed. Guess what? They were putting it on tight. So I had to just stop making scrunchies because they weren't listening. So now we are working on another satin headwear that you can use to do ponytails and everything. And it will be, even if you do try to make it tight, at least it will not be so damaging. So like I said, we don't consider them failures. We just consider them hiccups, and we make it better. First of all, we make sure that we listen to our customers' needs. We take note of whatever we do also, even executions on ourselves. So we are always listening, we get feedback, and whenever something is not working, because once again, we have that salon. Because we have that salon, we can, basically take care of something that is not working immediately. Like I said, it is like our little lab. And feedback, really paying attention. We really pay attention to the most minute execution. Our growth strategy is to always improve on our products. If we have to add products, we do that. Whenever we have to add to our tips and advice and our unfamiliar methodologies. And with respect to the longevity, we have a website, 24 hours, that has information, how-to videos, common hair issues, how to solve some of these problems with that. But the website is really comprehensive and adds a lot of information. And with respect to the longevity, we are also going to be teaching persons on what to do and always imparting our message out there. And we will also like to spread the word that, and we have had a couple hairdressers who have come to us. They would like to know more about Ox, and this is something that we would like to extend this message, that anyone who wants to learn how to use Ox so that their clients can also enjoy the benefits, they can always contact us. Our information is on the website. Do I believe there's some form of a pattern? Just work, dedicated to work, having a passion, and always staying abreast on what is happening out there and what needs to be done. Always trying to fulfill needs. When you can fulfill needs and fulfill them with integrity, so you work with integrity and you fulfill needs with integrity, you don't put gimmicks out there and people can benefit from the results, that is exactly what we are about. We define success with improvement, people having smiles on their faces, people benefiting from the work that we put in. My greatest fear personally are lizards. No, we don't have any fear. We look on the challenges that ox will face as just a little bump in the road, and we are just ready for the world, ready to make a difference.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Ox team, we are motivated when we see results. We are motivated by the end results. And we just want to make a change. Whenever persons write me on the WhatsApp or they come into the salon or they see me on the road and they say, can you please help me? I am motivated to help them. We are motivated to help them.
Hi, Ox Heads and soon to be Ox Heads. I've been using the product for about 5 years now, before the line expanded to having so many products. I first came to know about the product when I saw a young lady. Her hair looked so wonderfully beautiful. I thought it was a specially made wig. And her hair looks the same way, beautiful, amazingly so, all the time. I drove from St. Catherine to Kingston to meet with Suzanne, and she gave me a thorough run through about it was a preconditioning treatment at the time, now called booster. The value of that being to restore the natural pH balance of the hair so it is most receptive to what you are doing.
What stood out to me the most on my first visit was that it was different. I liked the experience, I liked the fact that they were very gentle on my hair.
Well, my greatest inspiration is my grandfather. He's no longer alive. I would say just people around me. I'm just motivated when I see other people motivated also, especially my Ox team. They are so motivated that sometimes when I'm so tired, because as I said, we have not had a vacation for such a long time, but when I see everybody just working and getting excited, I'm motivated by that. We are unique in the sense that we educate people. We have a website that's very comprehensive. It doesn't only show our products, but it imparts comprehensive, important information to women and men if they are having problems with their hair. We actually target certain issues, and we have videos explaining these issues. We also, in our salon, we have a salon that use the products. So we are very, very different from a lot of people. My favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur is just seeing my creations and my thoughts come to fruition, making a change, seeing women's, faces light up, having women scream in the salon when they can't believe that their hair can look the way that it does. Just really making a difference means a lot to me. I attribute my success, even though I created Brian, he's the engine behind it. He's the force that says, Suzanne, you need to put that out there, or don't just keep it to yourself and everything. So he has really motivated me. I would say that the most satisfying moment in the business is just seeing the satisfaction on people's faces, seeing the improvement with respect to them listening to us, and then seeing improvement in their hair and everything. I am happy when I see results, see the smiles on people's faces when they write me or they call me or they come in weekly and they say, Suzanne, or to the other team members, look on how my hair has improved. I cannot believe this. Those are the things that make me happy. Some of the sacrifices, we have not had a vacation for the past 2 years. Just not being able to hang out with friends and family as much as we would like to. But like I said, it is for a purpose, and all of that will come in time. Some of the future plans is definitely to be a worldwide brand. We would also like to extend our salon. We would also like to get more into teaching, imparting this information that's unfamiliar, and basically just being more out there where people are more aware of who we are and what we offer and what we are about, and of course extending our product line. My advice to persons who wish to become an entrepreneur is do not allow anybody to squash what you believe in. If it is good for the majority, then you try and capitalize on that talent, whatever it is that you have. Because just always remember this, you are a human being just like they are. Whatever they can do, you can do also. It is very important. That's the way how I live my life, and that's the way how I view others. Nobody is better than you are. So just do whatever it is that you believe in. Do not allow anybody to squash that dream. Don't do it. And that is something I mean 100%.
Accounting services. Providing financial information to our clients in a timely and accurate manner is a commitment that we feel cannot be compromised. Meaningful, well-organized financial records ensure that your business operations will run more effectively on a daily basis. Dodgen Global provides a full range of cost-effective accounting services, including the following: general ledger and financial statement preparation, bookkeeping, monthly, quarterly, annually. Accounting system set up for new businesses, compilation of financial statements, audits and reviews. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Performance art form with aesthetic and symbolic value. This week on Cameo, we will speak to Jamaican dancers about creativity, challenges, and monetization. Everybody, everybody, everybody dance. Christina Gonzalez is a Jamaican dancer, choreographer, and dance teacher. The Edna Manley graduate has danced professionally for several years.
I've worked on the Happy Comeback video, actually choreographed that for Shereen Anderson. It's such a wonderful experience working with her, a strong woman, especially in the music industry. Nick Cannon came to Jamaica. He did the King of the Dancehall movie, which hasn't been released yet, but I'm actually one of the featured dancers in Krisha Turner's, literally the ladies crew. So you have ladies against the dirty girls, and I'm actually part of the ladies crew. So that's set to be released sometime soon. I'm really not sure when. And I've also worked as a dancer with Beres Hammond when he did his Moment in Time concert. I was about 4 or 5 years ago while I was at Edna Manley College. I worked with Neela Banks. She was the choreographer, and myself and colleagues were dancers on that show. I also worked with The Angel. I used to travel with her quite a bit as her dancer, and I choreographed quite a bit of her shows. So my first Sumfest show that I choreographed was actually with The Angel. Recently I did a Suppligent ad, which actually won a gold award in the regional Caribbean category. It was directed by Adrian Lopez of Liquid Light, and that commercial actually won a gold award. And I'm just so happy because my choreography was featured in that.
I won't give up, no, never stop, never stop. Boost me up.
My opinion, anybody who is working for pay or some financial compensation, that's a professional, right? You can also have professional in terms of, okay, you work with a certain work etiquette and your discipline that includes things like time management and so on. So you have many different types of professional dancers in Jamaica. You have dancers who have graduated, for example, from a prestigious institution like the Edna Manley College or Exed Community College where they do performing arts as well. And the difference, let me get around to it, of a dancer now, I guess you'd say somebody just goes to a party, just want to have fun, and they're probably just dancing or so, and they're not being paid. They probably have volunteer with the NDTC, somebody who volunteers as just a dancer, versus a professional would be someone like myself who actually goes out and gets compensated financially for it. Well, definitely anything I feel that you have to form that becomes new and valuable, that thing is creative. Dance is definitely a creative process in that you're creating something new or you're forming something new that is valuable to persons. It might be valuable financially, it might be valuable, emotionally, where it can help persons. It evokes emotions with the audience. And I always tell my dancers, try to allow the audience to understand or relate to you, let them connect with you. So if there's, for example, the piece that we're doing earlier, the What is Love? I try to express the drama, try to bring people into you, let them understand the story. Because at the end of the day, it's not just fancy movements, technique, and so on. At the end of the day, you need to be able to relate to an ordinary set of people that don't understand technique or so on. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dance is definitely creative. There are so many challenges. But I think the ones that really affect me the most, first one has to be the fact that many dancers, especially those who are professional, they don't understand their own self-worth. And because they don't understand their own self-worth, it, in a way, devalues me as a dancer. Because what you find is that in not knowing the self-worth, they don't understand how to properly price themselves. And then this, I feel, comes from the root, which is the persons who teach dancers, they don't necessarily divulge on how it is that you price, your craft according to industry. So what you find is that many dancers, they underprice themselves, they work overtime without even asking for compensation for the overtime work. Some will even try to overprice themselves, they price themselves out of the industry. But I feel the grassroots to this is that lecturers, I feel, and many professional persons as well, they just don't teach persons. I think it's a problem with artists on a whole. I don't know what it is, the creative process or what, but they're afraid to price their work. They're afraid to talk about money. Education is key because you can't have persons just dancing and you say, okay, you're creative. You could be the most talented person on earth. You're not going to survive unless you have money to pay for your bills, to pay for your food, to survive to see the next day. And these are some things you need to talk about it. You know what I mean? Just like a banker, just like a lawyer, everybody needs to make their money. I mean, you need it to survive, so why not talk about it? I can probably count on probably one hand amount of times, money, the issue of money came up in my classes at Endemani College. They don't flesh out, artists on a whole don't flesh out, how do you price this? You price by your hours, do you price based on your qualifications, if you have a diploma, degree, based on your experience, what is it? So really education is definitely key. In terms of time management, it just, people just need to fix their watches. I feel just a lot more interaction on the international scene. A lot of that has been actually happening already. A lot more interaction, not only in one realm, which is, right now it's very popular, thankfully. There's a lot of highlight on dancehall right now, which is good. But a lot more highlight or a lot more interaction on persons in different fields, like the contemporary, African folk. How can we relate or connect with persons on a global scale? You know what I mean? So probably put on productions where persons from the region are invited to perform or to express their particular genres of dance. More Jamaicans need to stop fighting each other, stop fighting on one another, and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to use this bogle or whatever the dances that and I'm going to go over there and I'm going to monetize it just like how this Russian person, just like how this Japanese person has come to Jamaica and is doing that. I'm going to do the same thing. Future plans would definitely have to include establishing some foundation where dancers or dancing can be realized or, recognized as something that is lucrative, something that can inspire, something that can motivate persons. And that would have to be perhaps a dance empire that invites persons from around the world to come and experience Jamaican culture. Not only that, but also to, provide some form of cultural exchange. So my future plans definitely includes establishing that sort of dance empire, that sort of foundation, something far-reaching, you know what I mean, right here in Jamaica.
Me say you must come back. I fi come back. Me say you must come back. Anytime him left us, so we must come back. I fi come back. Me say you must come back. Action, me I say over chat.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
CEO and dancer of Dance Jamaica, LaTonya Dillon, has been dancing for over 15 years.
Dance is art. Dance is talent given to you by God. You're either born with it or people can learn. But for me, it's really a creative activity because you have to use your imagination to come up with moves, to come up with choreographies, to come up with just your whole attitude, your whole style, what makes you stand out from somebody else. And creativity is definitely the main thing in that sense. And in Jamaica, you know that we're pioneers, we're known worldwide for creating these exciting steps that we give creative names as well. And you know, the whole process is about being original, unique, creative, and stand out above the many genres that are already out there. You know?
Good? Killer, he's not a dancer, but he has a dance too. You know, he has.
Rambo Canambo, copy the cash for the tango.
Dance Jamaica is a talent and entertainment organization which portrays the culture of Jamaica and its vibrant people. Dance JA started out as a website with information about local dancers as well as international dancers who endorse, promote, who live the lifestyle of dancehall, which is Jamaica's core, original, created dance genre. And Dance Day is just about promoting the dancers. We have a profile of each dancer, plus video clips of every dancer. We have a library of moves created by Jamaicans from A to Z. And it's also just showcasing music videos, events, anything to do with dancing and dancehall. The creative process is different for everyone because you have some dancers who just probably go out, party. Like for me, I make up most of my steps in the parties. Some music playing and you just dancing and then you're like, wow, that looks good to this song. And you keep doing it over and over until it becomes an actual move. You ask a friend to do it and when they do it, you see it's better, you know? But some people, even sometimes for me, I'm in the bathroom taking a shower and just come up with an idea. So the process is, it can be anywhere. I even sleep and create ideas. Wake up and just have, like I had a dream and it came up, a step comes to my head. And a lot of it probably is hereditary for some dancers because it's just in our blood and things, people are always saying like, yo, this person did that dance already, but it's just natural and it probably ties back to an African step. For example, Ice, he created the Gully Creeper. A lot of people will debate that it looks like Yanvolu, which is a Haitian dance. I'm sure Ice never went to Haiti or he doesn't know about that, but because of his African descent and background, he's forced to do something like that, you know, because of the music, what the music is, the beat, the rhythm, stuff like that. But everybody's creative process is different, yeah.
Love me now, love me. One beat, right here. Every time the music play.
You can trademark your step, your name. Actually, trademarking a step is also a big issue right now because everybody is wondering how it's going to be done. And from what we understand, you only can trademark or copyright a choreography, which is the set of moves put together after you codify it, and it's a whole long procedure. So for me, I use written material. It might be an informal way, but the book itself is copywritten, and I put my names of steps as well as illustrations of these steps. So this is a form of codifying it as well, and that's my way of saying, hey, this step, I own it. You know, this is how it's done, step by step, and then I put the name of the step, so it's a form of codifying or owning it. Also, when we do shows, music videos, stuff like that, we are getting paid for our talent, our work. It's our job. There's a big lack of professionalism because of lack of education. So for me, that has a degree in business, I am able to price myself better. I'm able to create a business opportunity for this profession, this passion that we all have. A lot of the dancers are out there, people come from overseas